The island breathes like a wounded animal, and we step on its ribs, counting the heartbeats that don't belong to us. Hot swallowing the breath in our throats. And every step sounds like a promise we're afraid to keep. That day I drew a map to save a wall on a mobile. Water runs like a rumor between us, and men dream in gulps, bargaining with thirst the way priests bargain with heaven. Outside the sea with the moon, but here time is measured by moans. And the bandages. The war keeps the colors of spring in its pockets. Voices travel farther than bodies, and sometimes mercy rides their shoulders until courage dares to listen. If I say you will hear a father or an enemy, or is it just the sound of an unfired gun? The decisions are in the metal eggs, and our every breath warms them to bloom, or grant mercy. The sky writes its arguments with fire, and the ground signed in ash, and none of us got the sow. Some people count every night to prove they're alive. Others stop counting. Death can't find them. Honor is a thin bridge over a burning ravine, and we cross it because the other side is named home. The names become the little rivers we have to cross. Be careful, let's not mess with what they reflect on us. That day I promised the sick people that silence can heal. Then the ceiling answered with one last heavy truth. We are not enemies where thirst begins. Some tools make saints into executioners, and we learn to carry both in the same tired heart. Weight is the measure of love here, and we become scales with shoulders for plates. Time keeps fighting after we surrender, marking us with moments it refuses to explain. Borders travel on pages that smell of smoke, and the pen burns just as clean as the match. Mercy is wasteful by design, and we waste it gladly where it keeps one story from ending early. We're so small in front of a landscape. I remember the volcanoes and forget our names. Strategy is a scaffold for pain to climb, and every pin is another ladder for sadness. We borrow warmth from violence and pretend that it tastes like bravery as it burns our tongues. We avoid touching anything that has ever touched a living being, as if fingerprints can revive the moment before VA touch. The mountain answers in our own voice, and we believe it until the shooting starts. Balance is a sacrament here, and we practice it, carrying pieces of tomorrow through today. Passions become arithmetic of love, where fractions mean faith and crumbs remember ceremonies. Even stones learn the form of war, then forget it slowly, in a language older than sign. Paper can carry mercy, but footsteps edit the margins with fear. Before we finish reading. Kindness is expensive where supplies are thin, and we count coins with shaking hands. Music glides through obstacles like hard, reminds us that the enemy also knows our songs. Fire speaks in a grammar without forgiveness, and we conjugate it until the sentence ends. Hungry to negotiate with terror and triumph, because even fear has to eat. We keep writing a letter to the sea, and the wave returns intact. Every drop of an island that forgives us, even though we don't give it a reason. To complain about weather. We close the door in front of what we can't stand, and carry the key in my chest forever. Words find the tender places quicker than bullets, and sometimes they choose to spare them. Here the stars fall askew, and we wish what we don't deserve to survive. Hope is origami in a furnace, and still we crease it carefully, refusing to stop. Sweetness tastes like apology when given to a mouth that trembles at your shadow. Clean is a ceremony, not a condition, and we perform it between alarms. Silence arrives like a judge with no eyes, and we learn to plead by breathing. Courage wears fur and trusts our lies, forgiving what we ask it to discover. Direction means little beneath the earth, but we pretend it matters to keep walking. Sometimes the map is a prayer, and the prayer is a guess with teeth. We've become 6 salt flats, moving in caves that don't want us. The tenderness that exists in small actions, stealthily overcoming dogma, as a digger 5 seeking mercy. Even a flag signal is like a plea, when the air tastes of iron and thunder. We laugh to prove we still can. And the rock accepts the joke without changing. The harsh truth between the lights wrong left, and every defect glistening like fresh snow. For a minute the fight paused to smoke, and we meet, like men with tired lungs. Humility arrives without rank, and service borrows any hand that is clean enough. The ocean practices forgiveness for what we've brought, then return it to us. It's saltier, but not pardoned. We eat reflections when rice runs out and college so it will. I want my face back. The face belongs to the morning leisure and cheap coffee. Warnings are always late for a heartbeat, but they still ask for trust. Respect grows tall in shallow soil, and we water it with quiet hands. Warmth is a language I've forgotten, but your hands translate without sorry. Beauty keeps trespassing where it shouldn't, reminding us that wonder is not a coward. Silence thickens until it is a wall, and then we become carpenters of escape. Love is the only order I obey without question, even when the sky yells otherwise. The horizon is a blade at our throats, held by hands we will never touch. Surrender is a color before it is a choice, and today it looks like linen. We stitch together the darkness with sound, and pray that the stitches will hold until dawn. We invented tenderness, because the earth demands a return of kindness, as well as blood bones. If compassion had teeth, they would be worn like mine, still willing to bite down again. Memories paint what war can't burn. From above we look almost forgiven, but forgiveness like rain